So I just finished watching the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super, and it seems that Universe 4, they decided to focus more on trickery, deception, and aka basically become gag characters than anything else. And in all honesty, I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, it was a good episode, but I was a little bit disappointed with Universe 4. And the reason why is because the whole overall dynamic between, Beerus and the God Destruction of Universe 4, there was like a whole Tom and Jerry looking thing going on there. It reminded me of Tom and Jerry because one was a mouse, one was a cat, and I was like, that's what it looks like to me. And I don't know if that's what Toei Animation, Akira Toriyama wanted, but that's what I was getting. Like cat and mouse, they were going at each other, and obviously from the way he was acting, Universe 4, I was like, okay, he's acting like he knows something, he's acting like he's very strong, he's smiling constantly, he's not really bothered by, Ultra Instinct Goku, and when I was looking at this, I'm like, okay, he's probably strong. He probably has a very strong team. I mean, we do know that he had, like, some form of 2 individuals that were missing we haven't seen before, so, like, okay, he must have 2 really strong characters. That's going to be ridiculous, since he wasn't really afraid of Ultra Instinct Goku, and that's what many were hyping up. Everybody that were, seeing these certain little key signs were like, holy crap, Universe 4 is going to be probably crazy, a really crazy fight, and many were getting excited for it. And in this episode, we finally got that. We had, Universe 4 step into the spotlight and, have their time to shine against Universe 7. However, even though they stepped in the spotlight, it turns out they were very, 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 very weak. Like, extremely weak. Like, honestly, they were irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. They were very irrelevant because, number one was basically a chameleon, can go invisible and all that, and he got completely wrecked. And then you have another one that was like a flea bug man, or Ant-Man, basically, if you ever watched that movie. So, that's what it was. And I'm like, really? Design-wise and all that? Like, like, they really, it feels like Toei tried to be a little bit lazy with that, but, I'm a little bit disappointed. Maybe it's just my overall expectations of Universe 4, and I thought they were going to be insane because, I mean, just from the dynamic with Beerus and all that, I figured that the 2 Gods of Destruction, since they've been going at it for a while now, there would be something going on with this Universe 4 and 7, but that didn't happen. So, a little bit sad there, and I was honestly really shocked. I wanted something out of that final scene of the episode when we had it to where he's like, hey, since I'm getting erased, I might as well go charge you and go all in. I'm taking you all with me, and he tries to charge and all that, and then all of a sudden, he gets erased. I'm like, oh, that would have been cool just to see him go in and all that, see if he actually could do anything or fight Zeno or whatever. I would have loved to see that, just seeing him charging and all that. That would have been cool, but that didn't happen. Sadly. But anyways, though, getting back into it, basically, at the beginning of the episode, we start off with Vegeta. And as we know, Vegeta's a little bit angry after what happened in Universe 6. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, he had his pupil and all that, got erased. And he's very upset about that. So he took his aggression out on Mr. RoboCop and oh man, like, I like how Vegeta just interrupts the man's lines. Like, the man's trying to talk and all that, like he's bragging and hyping up his feats and stuff, how he's very strong, and Vegeta just barges in and, like, punches this man. He's like, why don't you let me finish my sentence? He's like, I'm not gonna be listening to you brag about yourself, and Vegeta still goes in and is fighting this man. That was really cool, had a lot of fun with that, but then on top of that, what I really liked was when Vegeta straight up is like, okay, that's what a final attack should be called. He's like, Final Flash, and then he knocks this man way out and all that. I laughed at that. I straight laughed because just seeing how Vegeta was mocking this man's technique, how he had final in the name, and he's like, my technique has final, and it's the true final part of a technique. Love that. Love Vegeta. As I said, I'm a little bit biased when it comes to Vegeta. I admit that. I love those scenes. I love how this man just went in, got his aggression out. He didn't even listen to this man trying to monologue and all that. He took him out. Good stuff, Vegeta. Proud of you. So, yeah. Anyways, once that was done, though, we move over into Piccolo and Gohan. And, you can't really fault Gohan in this episode because even though he needs to learn how to dodge, okay, reference and pun intended, he couldn't dodge because the person was invisible. So, at the end of the day, you can't really dodge an invisible man. And so, I can't fault Gohan for that. But still, Gohan was, overall thinking very smart with Piccolo of how to outsmart this dude that was invisible, which I was very happy with. I was very pleased with how Piccolo came in, he used destructive capability, blew up a big area around him and all that, but then on top of that, I also like the fact that, Gohan came in, started using, like, Ki Blast, and, drawing up smoke and stuff, to where you can see when the man moves around in the smoke. I love all this little stuff going on. I love, Piccolo and Gohan working together. It is something that I've been wanting to see for a very long time, and I think everybody at the end of the day are probably going to be very satisfied with Piccolo's involvement in this arc. I mean, even though Piccolo was eliminated, he was eliminated, I'm satisfied with what role Piccolo had to play. Number one, Piccolo's episode last week was amazing. I mean, when the man had, like, that Kami vision and Nell, I was like, yo, that was a really good scene. And he got up, started helping Gohan and stuff, Special Beam Cannon. Just that entire episode last week was really good. For anyone that's a fan of Piccolo and a fan of Gohan and also a fan of both of these characters working together, last week's episode was for you. And there was some aspects in this episode that also focused on Piccolo and Gohan, which is very fun. So, I mean, even though Piccolo got eliminated, I think I'm satisfied with what role he had to play. I wish I could have had more of him in this arc, but I mean, when I think about what he has done and what role he has played and how he's spurred on Gohan, and then he has given some good pep talk to him and all that, I love Piccolo's role, so I think it's okay if he sits this one out. I'm sad to see him get knocked out like that, but things happen, and Universe 7 does need to lose people, because when we really think about it, Universe 7 has been on a roll. They're knocking everyone out like it's nothing, and so we do honestly need to lose a couple. And if I had to assume anything, the last ones remaining on, the team when, we've reached the conclusion, it's probably going to be Frieza, Goku, and Vegeta and Gohan. Those are the four I think that are going to be remaining at the end. If I had to assume anything, I'm going to assume Frieza and Goku are going to be the last ones to remain. I know I'm a Vegeta fan, but I admit when it comes to Toei, I know how they like to make, Vegeta kind of play the second fiddle and stuff, pun also intended, and so I could definitely see the man getting eliminated. Getting to see Frieza and Goku take down someone, I know it's bound to happen. And if there is only two that's going to be remaining, if it's not Frieza, it's going to be Goku and Gohan, because the ending song, when you see them both charging and all that, that's the only other, thing I could possibly bring up. So anyways, with that being said, though, let's talk about how Piccolo is taken down. So, Piccolo, he got brought down because of the Bugman. Now, it's an honest mistake, because he did focus on, the energy, the ki, and that's why he missed, and then he got thrown off balance, and then knocked off the ring. It's an honest mistake, and I don't necessarily fault Piccolo, but I was a little bit disappointed in one aspect, and that is Piccolo's incredible hearing. It's one of the biggest traits of Piccolo's character for a very long time. If you are acquainted with Piccolo as a character, then most likely you know that Piccolo has very good hearing. It's a big thing that has been a reoccurring thing for a very long time in the series, and I was a little bit disappointed in the fact that Piccolo didn't use his hearing to actually beat the Invisible Man, but also on top of that beat the Bug Man, because Piccolo, even though he sits the bug dudes like Ki and all that, he could have easily have heard the man hopping around. You know he could have, because Piccolo has that good hearing. I was a little bit disappointed with that, because Piccolo should have been able to deal with that, but it didn't happen in the end. It's an honest mistake how he lost, but even then, though, I was just disappointed in Toei's part, because they could have easily have used that for Piccolo's advantage to win those fights and make perfect sense. So yeah, let's end it at that. Let's talk about the preview for next week's episode. So, Universe 3 is going in, the Robot Squad, Robo Squad. I think the name is Megazord. I think that's what people have been telling me the name of it is, Megazord or something like that. I could be wrong there. If I have the name wrong, correct me in the comments below. But, robots fusing. Makes sense. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen this in Dragon Ball. I mean, think about it. Let's think about some movies. Let's think about, Dragon Ball Z. I mean, when you look at all this type of stuff, obviously, fusion for androids, cyborgs, whatever, it's a thing. It's happened. So, it's nothing unexpected. Now, it does appear, by looking at the preview, that the fusion of the three robots are working together. It seems like they're near blue level. Now, I could be wrong about this. The preview could just be, lying to us and making us speculate that. But from the preview, it looks like they are strong as blue or even stronger than blue. And it's going to take Goku and Vegeta to work together with Gohan there as well to be able to bring them down. That's what I'm assuming because of the way that scene looks. Because the way the preview is done. But also another thing I want to point out. I'm going to assume. I'm just going to take an educated guess, and I'm going to assume that these androids, cyborgs, robots, whatever title you want to throw on them, okay, I'm going to assume that they have the capabilities of absorbing energy. Because it is a theme, it is a big theme when it comes to Dragon Ball, and I'm going to assume that they're capable of absorbing ki, because then that would kind of balance out why Goku and, you know, Gohan and Vegeta would need to go so try hard against them, is because they're able to absorb ki, and so maybe they want to overload the machine by giving them enough ki to blow up, similar to what happened in the Metal Cooler movie, if you've ever watched that. Very good movie, by the way. So, I'm going to assume maybe something like that. I could be wrong, but who knows? Who really knows? I just wanted to point that out. That most likely could happen in next week's episode. So I want to end it there. Episode overall for Dragon Ball Super this week. It was it wasn't as good as last week's. Honesty right there. It's not as good as last week's. It's not as good as the weeks before that. And I say this is the weakest episode we've had in about a month and a half. It really is. It's probably one of the weakest. I even like the, you know, Universe 2 fight more than this episode. I did. Besides that, though, overall, I am excited for next week's episode, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like, and, also, one last thing to mention, if for some reason you haven't been getting notifications for my videos or other YouTubers' videos, even if it's not me, okay, even if you don't care to get notifications from me, if you haven't been getting notifications from other YouTubers you have subscribed to, well, the reason for it being is most likely you haven't clicked the bell icon. So, just an FYI to make sure everybody's on the same page. The subscribe button basically really doesn't work anymore. If you really want to get notifications from someone's channel when they upload a video, you got to click the bell icon after you subscribe. Now, even if you don't care about notifications from me, do that at the very least for the people you do care about, because, I mean, it helps them out, and I just want to make sure everybody's in the know and understands that the bell icon is very important, because, like I said, for some reason, notifications just don't work anymore when it comes to YouTube. So, I'm going to end it there. You all have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.